All right, strap in, everyone. Today, we're diving deep
Deep.
into a question that's, well, kind of mind-blowing. We're going to be breaking down some fascinating audio from an expert, Kartik.
Oh, yeah, I love cryptic
She's
stuff.
got some seriously thought-provoking ideas about intelligence, like how it's evolved and where it might be going. Well, he's saying some pretty wild stuff about this thing he calls a sentience singularity.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah, it's a fascinating concept. Basically, he's arguing that human intelligence is evolving like crazy fast, and, well, we're right in the middle of it.
Really makes you think, huh? So he starts off by comparing us to chimps. He
Okay.
shows these x-rays, of human and chimp skulls, and it's crazy how small their brains are compared to ours, even though our bodies are like pretty similar in size.
Yeah, that's a powerful visual. It really highlights that massive gap in intelligence. I mean, chimpanzees are smart, don't get me wrong. They're about as intelligent as a 6-year-old human child. But compared to us, there's still a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. It really makes you wonder, like, what happened in our evolutionary history to cause such a dramatic leap in brain power?
Right.
Like, was it just like one day, boom, we got smart?
Well, he suggests that evolution, especially when it comes to intelligence, it's not a slow and steady kind of thing, more like an explosion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he uses this visual timeline to show how intelligence has grown exponentially, particularly in the last few million years.
So recently.
Relatively speaking, yeah. I mean, think about it. The jump from Homo habilis to modern humans, it took a short 1.7 million years. That's pretty remarkable when you consider the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing. Okay, so our brains are bigger, we're smarter, but like, is there a downside? What's the cost of all this brain power?
That's a great question. Because our brains, they're energy hogs, they consume a whopping 20% of our energy and oxygen.
Seriously.
It's true. We've essentially traded physical strength and speed for cognitive
Yeah.
abilities. We're not as strong or as fast as other animals.
Huh. I never thought of it like that. It's amazing how our bodies have adapted to accommodate these massive brains of ours.
Right.
Like, think about it. Human babies are born with skulls that haven't fully fused yet.
Yep.
They actually overlap at birth just to fit through the birth canal.
Exactly. It's a testament to how important big brains are for our survival as a species. And think about it. How much do you rely on your brain power every single day? It's driving everything we do.
It's true. So, if we're already pushing our biological limits, how can we get even smarter? Like, is there even room to grow?
Well, Kartik has some pretty futuristic ideas about that.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He believes that technology will be the key to breaking free from our biological limitations. He sees a future where we seamlessly interface with some kind of external superintelligence, augmenting our own abilities, as needed.
So, like, instead of just using Google search,
Mm-hmm.
we'll have access to that kind of information, like, instantly in our own minds.
Yeah, something like that. It really makes you wonder what that would do to our sense of self, our identity, even.
Yeah, that's deep. Like, if we're not limited by our own brains anymore,
Mm-hmm.
who are we really?
And that leads us to one of Kartik's most mind-blowing predictions, this concept of a technological singularity.
Okay, so what exactly is a technological singularity? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
He's talking about a point in time where artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence, and he even puts a date on it, 2062.
Wow, so soon.
He seems to think so. And get this, he suggests that humans were essentially the boot drive for this future superintelligence.
Hold on, so you're saying we're not just creating AI, we're creating our successors.
That's how he sees it.
Whoa. Well, that's a lot to process.
It is. It really challenges our understanding of what it means to be human.
Yeah, it makes you wonder about our purpose, our role in the universe, if we're just a stepping stone to something greater.
Exactly.
So we've got these massive brains
Yeah.
that come with a cost, and we're on the verge of merging with technology to unlock even greater intelligence. What's next in Kartik's vision? Where does this all lead?
Kartik really paints a wild picture of the future, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's like something out of a sci-fi movie. This sentience singularity and merging with superintelligence. It's like he's challenging everything we thought we knew about what's possible.
Right. But what I find fascinating is he's not just making things up. He's grounding his predictions in what we know about evolution and technology.
Yeah, true. And he even gives us a specific date for this technological singularity, 2062. That's pretty bold.
Yeah, that specific date is interesting, isn't it? It suggests he's pretty confident about all this. Like, he believes these trends are so strong that we can actually pinpoint when this massive shift will happen.
Yeah. I wonder what makes him so sure about that year in particular.
Well, he talks about how technology is advancing faster and faster all the time.
Okay.
He looks at the leaps we've made in just the last few decades. Think about it. The internet, smartphones, AI that can beat us at chess.
Wow, yeah.
It does feel like the pace of innovation is just accelerating.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how quickly things are changing.
Right. And he argues that this acceleration will lead to AI becoming smarter than humans sometime around 2062. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, he says.
So it's not like some Terminator scenario.
No, he doesn't see it as a hostile takeover. He thinks it'll be more like a merging of human and artificial intelligence, a natural evolution of intelligence itself.
So instead of us versus them, it's more like us becoming them.
Yeah, exactly. He imagines us being able to access incredible processing power and knowledge whenever we need it. Think about it. Instant access to all the information in the world. The ability to analyze complex data in seconds.
It's almost hard to imagine. It sounds pretty amazing, but
Yeah.
are there any potential downsides? Like, who controls this superintelligence? Who decides what information we have access to?
Those are great questions.
And how do we protect ourselves from it being misused?
You know, Kartik's ideas definitely raise a lot of ethical and societal questions, things we need to be thinking about right now.
Yeah, for sure.
He doesn't really dive into those aspects in this particular video, but it's something we need to consider as we move towards this future where the lines between biology and technology are becoming blurred.
Yeah, it's exciting and a little scary all at the same time. Like, on the one hand, imagine the possibilities.
Right.
We could solve some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Right.
But on the other hand, what happens to our sense of self, our creativity, our emotions, all the things that make us human?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. What if those uniquely human qualities become even more valuable in a world of superintelligence? Maybe those are the things that will set us apart, prevent us from becoming just extensions of a machine.
I get what you're saying. It's like we're moving from an age of information to an age of meaning, where our ability to understand and use knowledge in a human way becomes even more important.
Exactly. And maybe that's the real singularity that Kartik is talking about. Not just a point in time, but a fundamental shift in how we see ourselves and our place in the universe.
It really makes you think about what we would do with access to that kind of knowledge and power.
It's a question worth pondering.
If you had access to superintelligence on demand, what would you use it for? How would it change your life, your work, your understanding of the world? Yeah, it really gets the wheels turning, doesn't it? Like, if we could actually tap into superintelligence, what would we do with it? How would it change everything?
It's a question with so many possibilities. And what's really cool is we're not just sitting around waiting for it to happen.
Right, we're not just spectators.
Exactly. We're actually shaping the future of intelligence with the choices we make today, the way we develop and use technology.
So we're kind of creating our own destiny in a way.
Yeah, I think that's a really empowering thought.
It is.
And, you know, even if you don't buy into everything Kartik says, I think his work is really valuable because it starts these conversations.
Yeah, he really gets you thinking about the big picture.
Yeah, he pushes us to consider the future we're building and the ethical questions that come with it.
For sure. So after this deep dive, what are your main takeaways? What's sticking with you?
Well, that idea of a sentient singularity, this accelerating evolution of intelligence, it's both exciting and a little scary, honestly.
Yeah.
There's so much potential for good, but also potential for things to go wrong.
Definitely.
And I think it's important to be having these conversations now before it's too late.
I agree. It's definitely a lot to process, but it's worth thinking about. And who knows, maybe some of our listeners out there will be the ones shaping this future, developing the technologies that take us to that next level of intelligence.
Maybe so.
Or maybe they'll be the ones helping us navigate the ethical challenges.
Yeah, there's a lot to figure out.
So to everyone listening, keep those brains buzzing, but maybe take a break from Google for a bit.
Yeah, give your brain a rest.
Until next time, keep exploring the amazing world of intelligence and all the possibilities it holds. Because, whether we like it or not, the future of intelligence is being written right now. And it's up to each of us to decide what role we want to play in that story.